Saskatoon Crime Stoppers coordinator, Derek Chesney, is with us today. I want to thank you for coming down to the studio and giving us some insight into the Crime Stoppers program.
Right on. Pleasure to be here, Randy. It's always good to get the word out in the community of how we assist the police service and other agencies within Canada, and it's an honor to be here today.
There's quite a history going back a few years in Saskatoon with Crime Stoppers, and then some really major crime solving that's taken place over the number of years. Do you have any background that you can share with us about the program?
You betcha. So our program started here in 1986. So we're coming up on 40 years. But I'd always like to give background into where Crime Stoppers originated. And it originated in 1976 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. There was a robbery that took place one night. This young fellow was working at a gas station. These guys rolled up in a muscle car, ended up robbing the gas station, and just for no reason shot the kid that was working there and killed him. So the officer that was investigating this, the homicide officer, he tried to do his best to get everything done and just couldn't find these people that were responsible for this. So on a bit of a whim, he got a couple of his friends together, a few other officers, and they did a little reenactment of the crime. And they sent it out on TV, on the Supper News, and before he knew it, he started getting hits. And there was a young guy that said, yeah, I seen a black Charger heading in the wrong, away from this, and I know that car. And they ended up getting 2 people arrested and convictions, and those guys served time in jail. So then things branched out of that to say, hey, well, we're the police, but you know what? We need the community's help to work through this stuff. So that was kind of the birthplace of Crime Stoppers. Fast forward, I think Calgary had the first Crime Stoppers program in Canada. I think there's over 1,000 Crime Stoppers separate agencies across North America to date.
Wow.
So it's a wide network. We're all connected through a system called P3, and we share information because sometimes we can catch people that are locally, but sometimes there's traveling criminals that work their way across Canada or down into the States, so we're always open to do that as well.
What do you like about the job? I guess would it be the satisfaction of catching or getting the lead and following that up with the police and having them look after?
So, you know, I'm kind of a liaison between the community and the police.
I see.
And so what'll happen, an officer will come to me with a person that they can't identify. I'll put it out to the community, and then we kind of go between things back and forth. And I've had numerous calls here, files that I've worked on in the last couple of months where officers, they were ready to shut it down. They did everything. They did their due diligence. They just had no leads. And they said, hey, can you try this? And we've had some great success with community members reaching out, telling us, yeah, hey, I know who this person is, or some of the LPOs that work at the stores really got a good idea of who some of these suspects are. So it's just another line of communication that the community can help out the police service.
Do you see a lot of connection between, is it television, newsprint, Facebook, social media? Do you use everything to try and get that message out?
Do you know what we do? We are on social media quite a bit, Instagram and Twitter, X, I guess now. We do access Facebook. I also do reenactments and Crime of the Weeks with CTV in town here, who's a big sponsor. Saskatoon Media Group has been another great advocate for us, so I do my weekly Crime of the Weeks on the radio there. So we just try and get the word out the best that we can. I'll start small, and then if I can't figure out who these people are, we just kind of get a little bigger, and hopefully we can get some leads.
When someone does phone in, I always understand that there doesn't have to be a revealing of my phone number or who I am. Just I know that guy that you put up on the television or picture. And you take that and give it to the police and let them pursue that.
So one of the biggest things with the Crime Stopper program is anonymity. And my main goal as the Crime Stoppers coordinator is to protect the anonymity of the person who's leaving a tip. That person could leave tips on some pretty serious things that could get them into trouble. So we do our best to keep things as simple as they are. We pass the information on to the officers, and then if they can act on it, they go from there.
How is the program not funded, but there must be some operating costs.
Yep.
I've been to events to fundraise for them. Is that a major component of the event? You run by a separate board.
You betcha. Yeah, we have a board, and we are a nonprofit. So you know what? We take donations from people. We host a big golf tournament every spring. We just had it a couple of weeks ago and did very well with it. And then a lot of times people just want to pass us off money for the community. They see the benefit of the program. A lot of the people that we work with within the community, like CTV and Saskatoon Media Group, it's a shared responsibility back and forth. They know we're doing good work, so they're like, hey, we want to support you guys. So
I found that interesting, your comment just about other cities. So you wouldn't necessarily just show someone's face or video footage from a security camera and think that it's only linked to Saskatoon. It could be Calgary or maybe Prince Albert.
Yep.
Something like that. Is that done like an interagency thing between Crime Stoppers or police, or how does that work?
You know what, mostly Crime Stoppers. A lot of times police don't send stuff out unless it's something big or the officer's in an investigative unit, but you're just general patrol people taking calls. A lot of times I'll get a picture of somebody and they're like, hey, we tried, nobody knows this person, can you help? So what I'll do is like I said, I start small, I'll send it out to the community. Usually I'll forward stuff off to Saskatoon Crime Stoppers. That's out of Regina, so they have a wider range. I'm in good connection with Regina Crime Stoppers, Prince Albert Crime Stoppers, and then have connections in Winnipeg and Calgary, Lethbridge, and out to BC as well. So it's a network, and with social media you can share this stuff, and there's people watching depending on how many followers you have, and you only need one good tip to sometimes catch your man.
If there's an opportunity for people who might be watching that, gosh, you know, I wonder about that. If they haven't seen something on Crime Stoppers, but they saw something happen, would they still call you?
You know what, they can. You can call in, or what the way things are going right now, you log into our website, SaskatoonCrimestoppers.com. On that website is the full list of wanted persons, missing persons, can you identify, and then there's also a separate entity for logging on and leaving a tip. So if you ever do leave a tip, you're never asked your name. You're never asked to conceal your identity. You're not asked for your phone number or where you live. You keep it as general as possible. If in the event that you do give information that leads to an arrest, we do pay up to $2,000 for arrest. And we have had some good payouts the last little while with guns being taken off the street, or people that have done some real bad things that we can get an ID on them and get them put in jail. So the anonymity is the main thing. And that's what gives the program its respect from the community as well, that we're not out there trying to just catch people, but we're looking out for our tipsters as well.
What do you see as an attraction for bringing a crime that's happened, or an incident maybe, to the forefront? Is it based on severity or the potential for a charge, or the lack of leads that we have a frustrating case in front of us?
You know, Randy, my logo, every coordinator that's been in has a little bit of a saying, and my saying is, do your part to stop crime in our community. And I don't think that a crime has to be super serious to have an effect on people. Like a broken window and a car gone through, or a home broken into, or your bike stolen is as impacting as something more serious happening. Sure. And obviously if somebody is injured or killed, those are real important things that would be good to get tips on. But you know what? There's really nothing off the table. And if you see something wrong, or if you see people up to no good that are causing grief in your neighborhood, and you don't want to call the police directly, maybe there's not that trust there with the police, maybe you don't think it's important enough to go to the police, we're the program to let us know, and then we can pass on that information in a proper format.
What do you like about the role? I mean, obviously there's a bit of a public figure, but job satisfaction, where does that rate for you in terms of, is there frustration when you can't find someone, that you've absolutely explored all the options and even the community can't help, but on the other hand, there might not be any leads, and then you do something. So.
You know, I never, what do they always say, over promise and under deliver, or under promise and over deliver.
There we go.
So that's what I like to do when I speak to the officers. I'm like, well, I'll do my best. And you know, we'll put it out there. We may get a hit today, we may get a hit in a couple months. So I really kind of know that, you know, if we can do our due diligence, we can get the good pictures out there, we can find somebody that knows something, and we can get the officers and hopefully get a conviction. That's kind of at the end of the day. But for my personal job satisfaction, just the fact to be a liaison between the police and the community. I know so many hardworking officers that they're out there day in and day night and they're racking their brain and they really want to do good in the community. And to be able to be another option for them to help out is a pretty cool feeling. And especially when we do get some of those tips that do, hey, yeah, this is our person. Oh my goodness, I thought this was a dead file. And to get the feedback from the officers that, hey, I wouldn't have solved that without you. So to get that back is pretty cool.
I believe I saw something about the Alexandra Wilcharik murder from the early 1960s in Saskatoon. Was something like that with a historical homicide. Does that kind of spark some interest and take people's level of heightened awareness to a different place?
You know, I think whenever something serious like that happens, I think the ultimate goal is to have some closure for the family. And I think that's what everybody's looking for. And whether a crime took place last year or 50 years ago, there's still people around that would like closure. So looking at historical events that have happened in Saskatoon, looking at present events, I just think it's important that we can tie up the loose ends. And that's kind of my goal with the program, and to be able to help officers out to get their person that they're after, and be able to tell the family, hey, we were able to catch this person, so you can have some closure and move on, hopefully.
If someone did have something that they wanted to share with Crime Stoppers, what's the best way of getting a hold of
Do you know what? You can go on our website at SaskatoonCrimestoppers.com, or you can call the 1-800 number. It's 1-800-222-8477 or 1-800-222-TIPS, TIPS.
Away we go. Derek, thank you so much for taking time out and sharing that good news, and best of luck to you this year.
Thanks, Randy. Appreciate it.
That's our show for today. I'd like to thank our guest, Tom Dybert from Colliers, as well as Derek Chesney from Saskatoon Crime Stoppers. I'm your host, Randy Shabila. We'll see you next time on Connect.